A landmark decision from the Michigan Supreme Court earlier this year impacting potential lawsuits against auto insurers. And in this week's Know the Law segment, attorney Tom Sinas joining us to talk about the ruling and what it could mean for you out there.
So, a bombshell was dropped at the end of May of this year from the Michigan Supreme Court. And what did the Michigan Supreme Court say? Well, the Michigan Supreme Court undid about 25 years of Court of Appeals case law and held for the first time that medical providers who treat auto accident victims do not have a right under the Michigan No-Fault Act to sue a no-fault insurance company when their bills don't get paid. This has been a right that the Court of Appeals recognized as early as the 1990s, if not before.
Okay.
And medical providers, of course, who treated auto accident victims relied upon the right expressed by the Michigan Court of Appeals, and around the state there have been plenty of lawsuits involving medical providers and auto no-fault insurers. So if you go to the hospital, for example, and your auto no-fault insurer is supposed to have paid for your surgery and they don't, the old law used to be that the hospital could sue the no-fault insurer to recover your bill. And that kept you out of it as the patient. Well, the Michigan Supreme Court said that they don't believe that the way the No-Fault Act is written actually ever gave medical providers that, what we call, a statutory right to sue no-fault insurers. And so they declared in a case called Covenant Medical Center versus State Farm, they declared that medical providers don't have this statutory right to sue auto no-fault insurers. So this has obviously created a huge problem because there are thousands and thousands of pending cases. And the no-fault insurers, after the Covenant decision came out, said all these cases should be dismissed. And the courts, as we sit here today, are still working their way through the problems that have fallen out as a result of the decision, because it isn't as simple as the cases being dismissed. Why? Well, one thing that is emerging and that will continue to emerge are the use of what are called assignments of benefits. An assignment of benefit is where you go to the hospital, say, and you get treated and you assign to the hospital your right to collect the insurance benefits or sue the insurance company. These are typical parts of admission or discharge packets at hospitals. Well, now, after the Covenant decision, medical providers are saying we still have the right to maintain lawsuits against insurers based on assignments of benefits. And the Supreme Court in the Covenant case said, we're not intending to undermine that right. So the whole summer has been spent, in my world at least, arguing about assignments of benefits, whether they're valid, what do they mean. But for the patient's perspective, what it means is that you're going to be, if you're an auto accident victim, you're going to be encountering assignments of benefits that your medical providers are asking you to sign. And whether you should sign those is a very difficult question, not one that we can answer in this segment because it raises all sorts of other legal issues. But it's happening out there, and it's a question that people are struggling with. The other thing that people need to be aware of is this: if the medical provider cannot sue the no-fault insurer, does that mean that the medical provider will end up suing the patient, which is the last thing most medical providers want to do? But if they're being told they don't have a remedy against the insurer, then they may be put in that situation where they have no choice. So you want to make sure, if you're the patient, that you know where your bill stands with your medical provider, what your medical provider intends to do about any balance that's owed. And when it comes to these issues, they become complicated enough that it's good advice to talk to a lawyer, especially now, especially after the Covenant decision.
Very case-by-case basis. Could be a problem coming down. Real quickly, people need to learn about this, more about this. How do they find you?
They can find us on the phone at 616-301-3333. They can find us online. We have a lot of material about Covenant, www.sinasdramis.com or autonofaultlaw.com. Or they can send us an email at info@sinasdramis.com.
A lot to it. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Derek.